Ladies and gentlemen, we got another juicy story. This is the most intense match in esports history. I actually don't even know what game this is going to be, so let's go check this out.
And on opposite sides of the globe, 2 tournaments would occur for the game Super Smash Bros. Melee for
Ooh,
the GameCube. Hit and Stun 2,
Melee.
held in Barcelona, Spain.
Okay, so I wasn't super into the Melee space. Wasn't super into the Melee space. I love playing a good Super Smash Brothers game with my friends, right? Getting destroyed by my friends because I'm bad at the game. I actually did want to learn a little bit more about the Super Smash Bros. Space, so this is going to be really fascinating.
And Press Start, held in Irvine, California.
Right.
In this tournament, 2 top players in the world, Hungrybox playing Jigglypuff, and SFAT playing Orange Fox.
I'm aware of who Hungrybox is. I am aware of who Hungrybox is. Okay. He's a Jigglypuff player. He only plays Jigglypuff, and he's also one of the best players in the world. That's about the extent of my knowledge here. So I'm sorry for pausing a lot, but that's just how it's going to have to be. I'm going to try and grasp this.
Find themselves in a Game 5 set in losers quarterfinals of the tournament. Whoever loses this game loses the match and is eliminated from the tournament.
Okay.
Hungrybox finds himself at a 3-1 stock deficit with his tournament life.
3-1's not good. 3-1 stock deficit. So Hungrybox has 1 life left. He's at 56%. And for those who don't know, the higher your percentage, the more likely you are to get knocked off stage. The higher your percentage, the further you go when you get hit. When you hit the out of bounds walls in any direction, up, left, right, and down under the map, you are eliminated and you lose that stock. So 3-1 is not good. He's got a higher percentage and 3 stocks. So he's got to knock this guy. He's got to kill the fox 3 times before taking enough, not even dying once, but once he gets over like 80 to 100%, you're kind of cooked. And Jigglypuff is a very light character. Okay. Oh, he's spacing him. Ooh, got 1 stock. Back throw off air. Good guard. Okay, great spacing. Knocked. Ooh, 1-to-1. And he only took 1%.
Players in the world, Lefin playing White Fox and Ice playing Green Fox, find themselves in a similarly tight match, where whoever loses will be eliminated.
By the way, so in Super Smash, in the original, I guess I would call this one of the original Super Smashes, not 64, Super Smash Bros. Fox is a very popular character, right? I feel like Fox is one of those that's been like optimized and like min-maxed to hell, and they can do all this crazy stuff, right?
From their respective tournament. Prior to this match, the players have had a 5-to-5 set count, meaning this set would decide who takes the lead in their rivalry.
Okay. Ooh, he dropped the stock. I'm also aware of who Lefin is, but I don't really know his story. I just know the name. Ooh, we got the grab. Oh, we chased him. Oh my God, this looks insane. Oh my God, they're out of their seats. This is crazy. Oh, wow. Great defense, great defense, great defense. Oh, man, once you're off stage, you're kind of cooked, right? Okay. Oh, pop off! Oh my God, when I was a kid, I used to watch those rage moments, those esports rage moments, and it was mostly Smash players. There was no game that had more rage pop-offs than Smash did at the time. I can't think of anything else, maybe Street Fighter. But it's like the one-on-one competitive games are so intense because your ego's on the line because it's one-on-one. And when it's a one-on-one, if you lose, it's kinda on you, right? It's not a team. You can't blame your, like, when you're in Plat in Overwatch, you can't blame your teammates, right? It's not because your Reinhardt tank keeps charging in, line of sighting himself, right? And that, because that can throw the game. It's you. You lost to him. Right? Especially when there's a rivalry on the line. This is juicy. I'm loving it. It's in the name of the game. Exactly. Super Smash. Oh, big pop off. Let's go. Smashes the chair. Yeah!
These 2 players were known as 2 of the most polarizing in the scene. However,
yeah!
the stars have not yet aligned for them to meet with this energy. However,
okay, I see. So they haven't actually played together. Two of the biggest, like, I guess, high energy players, and they haven't actually butted heads yet. So that's going to be insane.
Time would eventually come, and the passion they would bring into this match would involve public altercations, inciting harassment campaigns, and ultimately cultivating a match that would push the envelope of what would be deemed acceptable in an esports match.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff. This is okay. I'm starting to understand. The most intense match in esports history is the name of this title. However, it could also be the greatest rivalry of all time. I'm starting to see that. This is gonna be good, and there's still 30 minutes left in this video.
Their story is one of 4 matches that gets progressively more intense as time goes on.
Insane.
With the last one being the climax.
Okay.
The first of these meetings would bring about something surprisingly unexpected. It's EVO 2013, the biggest fighting game tournament of the year.
2013, 13 years ago.
And the 19-year-old Jigglypuff player, Juan de Piedma, otherwise known as Hungrybox, crosses paths with an 18-year-old Fox player named William, otherwise known as Lefin.
They're so young.
This match, unlike the previously mentioned, is a best of 3, meaning the player to win 2 games first moves on in the bracket. At this point...
And before that was best of 5, right? Okay, so best of 3. Sorry. Got it.
Hungrybox is one of the 5 players that has been dominating competition.
Okay, do I recognize any of these players? I recognize Hungrybox. This is Mango, right? Oh, is the name here? And that's Mewtwo. Who are the names here? Turn that off. Armada, I kind of remember this name. And PPMD, I don't really remember this guy. Okay, so maybe I did know about this space a little bit.
As the 5 gods of Melee. And is generally seen as the favorite in this match. And Lefin, the widely known second best player in Europe, is seen as a formidable opponent, but unlikely to win this match.
Okay.
However, this matchup isn't necessarily in Hungrybox's favor. Hungrybox's main, Jigglypuff, is one of the lightest characters in the game.
Yeah, as I said.
Fox, widely seen as the best character in the game, has multiple moves and combos that kill Jigglypuff at very low percent.
Ooh, that getup was nice.
However, Jigglypuff still has chances in this matchup because of his own incredibly powerful move that can...
Bro, I can barely keep track of what these guys are doing, by the way. I've been trying to keep track and see what they're doing. I can get the gist of it, but like the actual micro movements are insane. This is another really awesome game that I love. Like, and we were watching Trackmania stuff earlier, and I love games that have been pushed to the actual max, by the way. It's so cool. It's so cool to see how incredibly good these players got. And this is 13 years ago, by the way. This is 13 years ago. How good are people now?
Turn the tides of the game on a whim.
Oh, we got him with the sleep.
The matchup can be broken down.
Oh, wait, are there guaranteed sleep combos? Because I know Jigglypuff can do a sleep. So it looks like Jigglypuff did an up air into a guaranteed sleep. And I guess some things are only guaranteed at certain percentages. So that's not only do you have to know certain combos, you have to know what certain combos work at certain percentages and based on the weight of the character. A crazy amount of knowledge needed. Crazy. That's so impressive.
It's a Fox trying to overwhelm Jigglypuff with his speed and powerful combos, and Jigglypuff trying to slow down the match and thread the needle in order to hit rest.
Ooh, up throw into sleep is pretty crazy.
For an edge guard. And speaking of edge guards...
Ooh! Ooh!
That's how HBox squeaked out game 1. Right after taking the first game, Hungrybox jumps out of his chair.
Jumping out of his chair right there. Lefin has decided in that moment, look at him, looking over there. He's decided, I'm going to hate this man for the rest of his goddamn life.
He's the type of player to wear his emotions on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And in this case, he's using that to ride the momentum to not let this underdog make his mark.
Yeah.
Lefin, who had built up some momentum during the match, is visibly irritated by the quick tide change. And Hungrybox making that clear to him in real life. However, the crowd doesn't necessarily take either player's side in this case, as Jigglypuff is generally seen as a boring character due to its slow play style.
What do you think about Jigglypuff? Yay.
And Lefin has been...
It's 2013, baby. It's a different time, okay? It's a different time. People used to use that word like it was the word the. Now, one thing is, I totally understand about how pop-offs work, because like you pop-off, a good pop-off also is like strategic, right? If you win a game and you have a big pop-off, you're also like shaking their confidence as well. So like I know Hungrybox seems to be a very emotional player and he does it anyway, but it also benefits him greatly. Because if I'm playing a game and we have a close game and I lose and he does a pop-off like that, I'm tilted. I'm 1000% tilted.
Recently banned from competing in his home country due to his demeanor at recent tournaments.
Oh, God.
Although he had been working to move past this by competing in the US. Game 2 commences similarly
His demeanor.
to the first one, with Lefin gaining a minor lead. However, in this matchup, leads are rather volatile.
Ooh. Oh, this is gonna... Lefin's getting tilted. By the way, how bad do you have to have done something? Like, how awful do you have to been to get banned in Japan? He got banned in Japan, right? Or was it Europe? I wasn't paying attention. How bad do you have to get banned, permanently banned from a tournament in 2013? He must have been atrocious. Must have been a demon.
And the game goes to last stock, match point for Hungrybox.
Last stock match point. Oh, and he gets to sleep.
And Hungrybox wins. However,
Pop off?
unlike in their ultimate encounter, there was no bad blood between these competitors yet.
Yes.
Or at least, the bad blood was rather playful. Months later, at one of the biggest tournaments of the year, Apex 2014, the two would plan a salty sweet match revolving the outcome of their EVO match.
Okay.
Although there wasn't much tension in the air.
Lefin, what are you gonna do to Hungrybox right now?
You already know.
You already know. Are you gonna take that Hungrybox?
I mean, he says he already know because same happened last time, so.
The game on Steam is a much different story.
Nerds shit talking each other is like the funniest thing ever, man. And I love that this is kind of like an awkward time for both of them, right? Like they're not used to being in front of it, maybe not not used to too much shit talking because this is relatively new. I bet by the end of this story, these two are going to become absolute shit talking demons. I'm predicting it right now. These two, I can see it in their eyes. They have what it takes. Look at this man. Look at the hatred behind this guy's eyes. He is going to say some slurs.
Lefin would take game 1 in a dominant 3-stock, not remotely reminiscent of their match from months earlier.
Okay, that's big.
Hungrybox, visibly upset and potentially shaken, takes out his earbuds before quietly selecting the stage for game 2.
Okay.
Lefin's newfound confidence minorly backfires at him at the beginning of the next game, as he self-destructs and HBox takes advantage of the moment to rub it in his face. HBox would take this lead that Lefin gave him to successfully flip the script from an otherwise worrying start to the match for him. HBox would not pop off after his Game 2 victory, surprisingly staying relatively cool.
You know what? He's very calm. I know he's not the calmest normally, but he's calm right now because at this point his ego. He's like, I'm the best. He's confident, right? And when you're confident, you just have that air about you. You're like, yeah, I know I win. I know I win, right? It's when it's close and you're the underdog, right? And you have a big pop off or this guy is just pissing you off. That's when you get the pop offs. That's when you get the table slams and the chair pick up and the put down really, really hard. But right now he's probably feeling very confident. Like he's just schooling this kid, right? He's 19 or whatever. This kid's 18. He's a year apart. So he's like, I'll just, show this young blood the ropes here.
Himself, rather uncharacteristic for him in comparison to their previous matches. However, HBox wouldn't let the hiccup from the beginning of the match get him off his game, as in game 3.
Did he tap the wake? Oh my God, he got the, hang on. He gets the fall, right? He gets the knockdown.
Of the match
he gets the tap, wake up, into the walk forward sleep. Ooh. It's just also crazy gameplay to watch.
HBox would prove why he was one of the 5 gods. Hungrybox, who was rarely cheered for, had the crowd behind him through his electrifying performance.
He's loving it. Bro, commentators back in the day were also demons. Maybe nowadays, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, Smash fans that are watching this. Hi, by the way, hope you're enjoying the video. Smash fans that are watching this, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like back in the day, man, this was 2013. This is just a different beast of internet. Like now, maybe everyone's a little more polished, a little more professional, but back then, commentators were making fun of people's shoes. They were making fun of their clothes. They were making fun of their face. They were putting the camera up in the guy's face when they were losing. It was crazy, man.
And Lefin looked to fight against his seemingly predetermined fate. But as much as he tried to run from it, destiny arrived.
Ooh.
Of battles, Sweden. Ole, 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 destruction.
Okay, pat on the back, respect. Good job.
Real talk. Did you forget who I am? I'm one of the top 4 players. In the
shimmying, dude.
In the years after, Hungrybox would remain as one of the 5 gods of the game, although rising in their rankings, now only being seen as inferior to one.
Wow.
Armada.
However, I don't really know much about him.
Unforeseen to many, Lefin would have his own rise to power.
Toronto, Canada, get on my level.
Good DI on it, dude.
Oh, he's looking fresher. He's looking tighter.
Shut off your looking.
Ooh, Sheik. Ooh, Sheik. I was bad with Sheik, man.
here. No one really wants to commit to anything.
Seems to be a lot of it is spacing and movement, right? They're almost like feeling each other out. That little engagement there, nothing happened. They did not hit each other once, but so much happened. That's so fascinating. I would love to watch a video where like someone really breaks down the mechanics of how good these people are. Because you feel like right here when you're watching this looks like gibberish, but there's like an insane amount of like communication and movement, and it's kind of like two boxers kind of throwing out jabs, moving around, testing each other's footwork. Really, really fascinating. Just like waiting for a mistake in their spacing, looking for a single opportunity. How crazy is that? Like literally one mistake and you're off and you're dead. Crazy.
Definitely one of the best ones. Very strong. The way he's using his center control from that. That's an overall melee guide up. He actually can decide how. Never misses it. Yeah, it's rare. Really rare. Oh, that's gonna be the stock.
Oh, float off. That's crazy, man.
Armada was probably noticing the pattern and just goes for it right there. One up air, two up airs. Yep. Nared out, but
whoa.
Frankly, that was good.
Oh my God, he's predicting her.
Mixing up the DI, allowing him to avoid another one. That's slight. What a wave dash back. Oh, Armada went kind of all in with that edge guard. Shot that shield.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Lefin would beat two of the other gods, Mewtwo King and Armada.
Damn, he's coming up.
However, Hungrybox would be awaiting him in Winners Finals. But this version of Lefin was many levels above what Hungrybox had previously experienced. Game 1 would be relatively even, with players trading stocks until both had one left. However, in contrast to many of their previous meetups, in an even match, Lefin would take the first game.
Out of there. Is that it? Yes, it is.
First game!
He had enough room to get the momentum for the dash.
And would ride this momentum to a massive lead in Game 2. And although this was the most powerful Lefin had ever been up to this point, Hungrybox wouldn't let himself be run over.
No. Here's the thing about what makes people like, I would consider people like gods of competitive sports. It's how they don't break under pressure. And I think what makes a great player is how they don't break under pressure. What makes an like a literally top tier greatest of all time is how they get better under pressure. For example, Faker in League of Legends, if you guys don't know who he is, back in the day, back when I was watching some old League of Legends stuff, the higher the pressure, the better he got. And I feel like Hungrybox is in that flow state right now. Right? Back against the wall, one stock left, and normally people would crumble, right? And that's what good players would do. Good players at a huge tournament, game on the line, tournament on the line, one stock, they're getting dunked on, they would crumble, right? And they would just, you see it all the time, right? Faker the GOAT, absolutely. 1-1. At 88%, by the way. At 88%, by the way. So, and Jigglypuff's a light character. He can get pretty much, he's like one slip up here, he's going to get knocked out.
Now it makes one.
Uh-oh.
Wow. This is it. Okay,
44%, 70%. One combo.
He's looking at the crowd like, yeah, I just did that.
And in a close game,
insane.
He continued to show that he didn't want his superiority over Lefin to fade, guiding the game to another last stock bout, which he narrowly.
And those sleep combos are nasty too.
Hungrybox clearly was not holding back, as he had witnessed his fellow gods fall to Lefin earlier today.
He's the last one standing.
He took a lead in a back and forth Game 4, and with an impressive edgeguard on a third stock, Hungrybox took a stock lead, and looked to shut the door on Lefin's rise to the top. But today, Lefin had other plans.
Now he's fighting with the speed. Yeah. I'll throw up in this good KO.
There was no playing things out for the crowd. Going into this Game 5, both players were entirely.
You can tell they're both getting heated now, eh?
Lefin would take a lead into this game and would extend it, bringing himself to the verge of taking out his third god of the day. But
Did he say third of the day? He's doing this all in one day? Holy shit! Man, oh man, I didn't know that. I guess it is one tournament. I guess they do it all in one day, right? This is just a small, this is like, I mean, Smash, I mean, there's tons of people there now. Look how many people are there, but like, still, you probably have to rent it. Probably like, we need to do this tournament in one day because we can only afford renting this place for one day, this conference place for one day.
Box didn't let his will waver. And in a similar position to Game 2, he fought back, with his game hanging by a thread. But in the same position that Hungrybox stole Game 2,
oh my god, they get
Lefin flipped an edge guard and stole a throne.
Oh!
Watch this play! What a shot!
Lefin would later beat Mango, his 4th God of the Day in Grand Finals, winning the tournament over 4 gods of the game. The first time this had ever happened in the game's history.
Or in one
And
day.
through this,
Pretty
he
crazy.
officially cemented himself as a competitor for the #1 player in the world.
Yeah, no kidding.
And earned his nickname of the God Slayer.
The God Slayer. That's so crazy. What's with the scarf? He always wore a scarf. What's with that?
This period in Smash would bring about some great changes. For instance, one of the gods, PPMD, would essentially retire from competition, with Lefin effectively taking his spot as a top competitor. Secondly, Armada would continue his era of dominance as the #1 player in the world for the 2nd year in a row. However, his dominance wouldn't come without question, as Hungrybox managed to win the biggest tournament of the year, EVO, and widely regarded as one of the greatest sets of all time. However, Hungrybox's rise to a true contender for the #1 spot didn't come
Such a
without
good.
controversy.
Look how many people are there.
When Hungrybox was at the lower end of the top 5, many spectators were either indifferent to him or likely disliked him because of Jigglypuff, partially because he
Look, oh my God, look how many people are there. This is crazy. Could you ever imagine these guys were doing little tournaments in these tiny little rooms and now they're competing in front of these? This is an arena.
didn't disrupt the power structure of tournament results. But as soon as he started preventing other top players from winning tournaments with his rise, many spectators began to view him less than favorably. This wouldn't be the only reason spectators began to gradually turn against Hungrybox, as certain top players began to push a negative narrative about his rise to the top. One of them being Lefin.
Oh,
What a deep and thoughtful game plan.
Lefin historically wasn't a fan of Jigglypuff in Melee, citing the character's slow playstyle as being against the spirit of the game.
I mean, just sounds like a bunch of hating, bro. Like, if you can't beat it, why are you talking shit? I don't know. I get it though. These guys are so ultra competitive as well. So I kind of understand like the shit talking. But the egos, dude, what I'm really liking about this world, this competitive Smash world, the egos are big. Lots of big egos for playing a video game. And this guy Lefin just seems to just run his mouth, bro. Just run his mouth.
However, in the past, Lefin's words wouldn't have much of an influence over the general discourse of the community.
H-Fox had already begun his pop-off, killing everyone in the front. Okay.
But as Lefin had progressed in his own rise to the top, the community began to take his words more seriously. Gradually, a narrative of Hungrybox's success being a threat to the health of the game began to be seen more constantly.
I don't buy that at all. What are you talking about? Just why? Just because he's playing a character that you can't fucking beat? Why don't any of you guys play Jigglypuff and just beat him with his own game? Is anyone trying to do that? That's so ridiculous, man. Is Hungrybox killing Melee? Dude, this always happens when someone comes in and just can't be beaten, bro. Like, he's using a character in the game, using strategies in the game, and people can't beat him. I think people are just being a little salty. I think what happens though is when people are dominant for a long period of time, it really sets up a narrative for someone to come in and take down the king. And I think that seems to be what's happening here. He's been very good for a long period of time, and he plays one character. He doesn't seem to really play anything else. That's why sometimes bans, being able to ban certain characters in video games makes the game a lot more interesting, right? Because if you know someone is really good at what they do, then just ban that character. Then they have to play their second best, right? It doesn't really work in a 1v1 scenario, though, I can imagine. But at the same time, if this guy is this good at Jigglypuff, don't you want to beat him at his best? So like even a ban would be like kind of put like a little bit if you ban his Jigglypuff and you have to play against his whatever Marth or something, wouldn't there always be a little bit of an asterisk besides your win? I don't know, bro. Smash players are so salty.
However, most of the flack against Hungrybox was written off as online fodder.
Yeah.
But as many would come to see, no one was willing to pull the plug.
All the top they know what the fuck they're talking about. Except $100. He has confidence. Like, you didn't know. Do you know that he didn't know you can run and crouch? Yeah. I have so much respect for all the top players, except Hungrybox, because he gets carried.
Gets carried.
Jigglypuff as a character would gradually turn into attacks against Hungrybox's skill as a player, which would then gradually turn into attacks against him as a person. And
Damn,
Hungrybox
that's
officially
brutal.
becoming the #1 player in the world would only come to make this worse. In 2017, Hungrybox would be approached at a Walmart in public, and harassed by someone who supposedly held a lot of these strong beliefs.
Was leaving a Walmart and someone shouted behind me, "Hey, Hungrybox." They turned around because I thought it was a fan. Dude proceeds to flick me off and say, "Fuck you and your family, Hungrybox." And so, okay, to be fair, that person that did that is a fucking loser. Let's be real. These people, dude, it's like anyone who like goes up to a celebrity, an actor, and like treats them as if they like, let's say someone who was like a villain in Game of Thrones, right? Joffrey. People who go up to the actor that I can't remember his last name, that go up to Joffrey and act and treat him like he is Joffrey. You are a fucking you are a loser. I'm sorry. It is so weird. I have so much respect for people that play villains really well. I think they're awesome. Going up to someone and being so chronically online that you think this is actually a cool fucking thing to do. This guy probably went home and like told his wife about it and thought he absolutely nailed that interaction. It's the same with sports fans, dude. I genuinely don't understand it, right? Like people will like some people I know will absolutely, if they saw a certain player, a soccer player, a football player in person, they would say something to them like awful. Like why? That is so cringe to me. I've never understood it. People take this stuff so seriously. Maybe that guy lost his money on the bet. If that is true, kind of a little more understandable. The fact that Hungrybox lost him money, Hungrybox did not lose him money. This guy's decision to gamble his money away lost him money. So he's still an idiot.
What should have been a wake-up call for the community didn't serve as such, as the anti-HBox sentiment would only continue to grow.
Crazy.
At the 5th iteration of the Summit Invitational Tournament, shortly before Genesis, Hungrybox would win it for the first time, stopping Armada from winning his 5th Summit in a row.
Let's go, Hungry.
However, the top players' reactions painted an interesting story. Although many still displayed good sportsmanship, many competitors didn't even show up for Hungrybox's victory speech, or left before it happened. All of this, however, would culminate at the biggest tournament of the following year, Genesis 5.
Okay.
All of the top players would plan to show up for it, and the hype around it primarily revolved around
a little
one
saltiness,
showdown.
right?
Hungrybox, the player who symbolized the allegedly declining state of the game in many's eyes, versus Lefin, who had been a persistent proponent of this narrative despite the fact that it was getting personal. And it only continued to get more personal, as the night before Genesis, Lefin would go live on his Twitch channel, where he would spend most of the live stream talking bad about Hungrybox and Jigglypuff, to much acclaim from those watching.
Like, there's two kinds of people in this world. HBox fans and people who met him.
While practicing with Armada, a player who would typically stay away from drama, their conversations would still revolve around this topic regardless. Lefin would also invite a lower-ranked Jigglypuff player on stream to practice, and would encourage him to tell negative stories about Hungrybox, which would later be proven false.
If you think, like, obviously this is a bad look for Lefin, right? These people are kids, man. Not to take away from it, but like I'm trying to understand why these people are being so shitty and acting weird, but they are kids. Like their frontal lobe has not developed yet. And they're just saying dumb shit that comes off the top of their head. This guy thinks he's the best in the world, and he may well be, right? Hungrybox is like a little ant that's getting in the way of him being undisputedly the best. So he's just, this kid, his little dumb kid brain is trying to justify it in any way possible, right? I'm the best because he plays like a bum ass character, and that's ruining the game. It's pretty crazy. What's crazy is that this narrative that Lefin is helping promote is actually working. It's like actually really fucking with Hungrybox. Is the shit talking outside of a game fair to the competitive nature of the game? Some people could say part of it is, right? Like in wrestling or boxing, a lot of the game and the mind games happen beforehand, right? You got Floyd Mayweather talking shit before a fight starts. You got Conor McGregor getting into people's heads before the fight even starts. Is that fair? Is that fair? I don't know. To be fair, Hungrybox, is it fair that Hungrybox pops off in the middle of a tournament and mess with you? I don't know. There's a line somewhere. I just don't know where it is, but I find it absolutely fascinating.
First time I met him, I asked him for a best of $5, Puff Ditto, and when he found out that I was a Puff, he went his secondaries. He took 2 games, and then after the second game, he was like, "All right, I don't want to keep playing," and he takes my money. He walks away, and I was wearing the HBox shirt that he made, like the one with the cute. No! Yeah, and he says to me, "Nice shirt," and he leaves. It was.
Are you? No, there's no way.
Yeah. Regardless, Lefin would clip this part of his stream and upload it onto YouTube with this thumbnail.
What is this? One of the many reasons to dislike HBox. And the damn it, this is was he a drummer tuber as well? What are we doing? Lefin would delete this video 5 years later. Yeah, no kidding. This is insanely bad. This is an insanely bad look. This is your competitor, bro. What are we doing?
Genesis itself began, and Hungrybox and Lefin.
Look, I'm saying it's a bad look, but as a fan at the time, I would have eaten this up. I am saying that at the time with like Lefin could just be a really good marketer, and he's like just fanning the flames of getting people excited about this tournament and fanning the flames of the rivalry, which you could argue the people that do that in the, let's say the UFC and the boxing world are actually doing the right thing, right? They're trying to sell more tickets, more people get interested in the sport, right? The company does better. In say boxing events, for example, there's one person who's really trying to sell it, and then one person is just kind of like not really interacting and doing whatever. Like that actual person who's not really interacting kind of gets like looked down a little bit by the company and whatever, because they're like, well, ham it up a bit. Let's go. Come on.
Were seeded to verse each other later in the tournament. Both successfully made it to top 8 winner side, where they'd be slated to play in winner semifinals on Championship Sunday. Before that happened, Hungrybox finally took the opportunity to speak out about Lefin's recent behavior in a pre-game interview.
How do you feel about facing Lefin tomorrow?
It was the only reason I came to this tournament.
Really?
I want to kick that guy's ass.
I want to beat his ass!
I want to make sure that when I do it, he remembers what happened to him at Summit, the last time he talked shit, and got blown up. Maybe in 2 years, understand that sometimes talking shit and then getting destroyed for the 15th time in a row might be the reason you played badly. And if you want to sit down, have a heart-to-heart, talk about mentality, talk about our feelings.
You know, Lefin's watching that video with his fists clenched on the table. Hungrybox, literally that entire interview is just saying skill issue. I don't know, who do I hope? I don't know who I'm rooting for. In the way, I kind of would say Hungrybox, because of the shit Hungrybox is going through. Again, I don't know all the details about the little stuff. Maybe Hungrybox was an asshole behind the scenes, and that's why no one really liked him. Maybe these people know a little bit more about how, if he was awful or something behind the scenes, but Lefin isn't exactly a Boy Scout either. I don't know. I just think this is just some good fun competition. This is what happens when two people at the top of their game get super competitive. I love it.
Here for you, Lefin.
Here we go. This is the climax game.
Hungrybox's opportunity soon came. Their match would be the first of the day, and although it had been custom for competitors to fist bump before
not
matches,
happening this time.
There was none of that for these two this time around, and the competitors went straight into their first
No
game.
love lost.
Game 1, the competitors would start out rather even. However, Lefin would overextend in a couple of key scenarios.
Rushdown style if he wants and overwhelm the pup with his moves, but
once Hungrybox is in, look at that. That was a read. Can Lefin keep Hungrybox out? Right.
Oh, nice.
He's not doing a great job of that right now.
Okay, I can totally see why Jigglypuff is bullshit though. That character.
Out. Right.
Jigglypuff is a mile off the fucking platform, by the way. Look at this. It's barely on the screen. Jigglypuff is out there, and Jigglypuff has plenty of movement to get back. That is bullshit.
He's not doing a great job of that right now.
No, not at all.
Allowing HBox to take a 3-1 stock lead. But he would start to play a lot more patient, bringing the game back to a last stock bout. However, his aggression at the beginning proved to make too big of a deficit, and HBox managed to escape with a win. But the momentum was slowly turning into Lefin's favor.
Okay.
Between games, it's also customary for competitors to communicate to each other which stage they will be choosing for the following game. However, after game 1, both players wouldn't even look at each other.
This is so good. Dude, this is why I love video games, man. I love video games. This type of competitive nature to come out from something that you would think is something like so mundane. These two hate each other over a video game, and I think that is just the funniest thing on the planet. Not to diminish what video games are, but I never thought as a kid, as a huge fan of video games, huge fan, right? As a kid, I always believed video games are art, video games are culture, video games are like are magic. I never thought people would be getting this into it. It's amazing. I don't know. It just makes me happy, man. I love video games so much. I really do.
And would simply agree on the next stage.
I love all the stories that come from video games too.
Lefin would carry on the momentum he built through game 1, maintaining a patient playstyle and hitting Fox's best kill confirms, up smash and up air.
Right, so kill confirms are guaranteed kills at certain percentages most likely. Up smash and up air. Okay, good to know.
There is a clear difference in demeanor between games in this match versus their previous encounters. As in the past, between games, one of them might pop off or take a breather. However, between these games, both competitors stayed entirely locked in, and would go directly to the next game.
Yeah,
Game 3
understandable.
would be played on Dreamland, Jigglypuff's best stage in the matchup.
Ooh, I hate this map. Oh, the tree that does the... I had a friend who literally just played Link and just threw fucking bombs at me and shot arrows at me from across the screen. And then one of my other friends just played Samus and just shot shit at me. And as a Ganondorf main, what do you do, right? I don't think I haven't actually talked about how I play Smash, by the way. I didn't really play this Smash. I played the newer one that came after this, I guess. Ganondorf all the way, bro. Just dunking on everyone. It's so satisfying, man. He's just so drunk. I don't care if he's bad. I don't care if Ganondorf is ass. I love the good chunky hits, man. It's just so satisfying.
And Hungrybox would use this to rein the momentum back into his favor.
Oh
my god, he just destroyed him.
However, the match would still be close.
Lefin pressing forward right
One
now.
stock, Fox 100% health.
Definitely looking a little impatient. He's throwing out so many hitboxes. Hungrybox knows he's gonna pick up on stuff like that. You know, you're feeling safe, you're feeling unsafe.
That's it. Dude, it seems like once you're off, you get knocked off against a Jigglypuff, you're cooked. What do you do? Especially against this guy's Jigglypuff. So how do you beat that? Was there anyone? I'm serious. Was there anyone that ever really gave Hungrybox a run for his money, like a serious run for money? Besides Lefin, I guess. Maybe because of Fox. I don't know. Maybe there was another character out there that like could absolutely shit on a Jigglypuff. I don't know.
Awful DI on that forward throw, but again, going for the ledge. Saying Hungrybox, you got to hold on.
But Hungrybox would manage to close it out regardless. Lefin would show visible frustration after Game 3, but in this case, he would use that to his advantage going into Game 4.
Yes, use the power of hate. Let it flow through you.
4 would be played on Final Destination, a stage in favor of Fox in this matchup, and Lefin would be dominant.
Good, just a flat stage, huh?
Put an extra tripwire over here. Wow.
This is a tough stage.
Up throws on Jigglypuff. And up throw, up air.
It's just flat, and Fox is so fast, so he probably just gets to run around, dance circles around Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff has no platforms to really maneuver around here. I guess maybe that's why.
KO's so early in the tournament, so take notes. Very tight.
This song is sending me back to my childhood, though.
Hits. That's Hungrybox basically extending his whole life. Yeah. Lefin 4 stocks to 1 right now.
4-1. That's a big difference.
The game would nearly end in a 4-stock, and now the onus was on HBox. The match.
Getting 4-stocked is it's almost like getting posterized in basketball. I think that's what it feels like. If you get 4-stocked, you've been dunked on. That's what I love about the competitive scene, because there's like nothing better than like breaking someone's ankles in basketball and then like dunking on them, right? And then the crowd goes, "Oh shit!" And then the camera's in the guy's face, and it's like, no, you know. I feel like Smash has those moments too.
Which had been rather back and forth. In Game 5,
just like an insane crowd.
Mental war that had been playing out throughout this match and for the past months. The game, like many others, would start out even, with both players making minor mistakes potentially due to the stakes of the situation. Lefin would misinput a ledge dash and lose the first stock. And Hungrybox would take this lapse in Lefin's confidence as an opportunity to play uncharacteristically aggressive, pushing Lefin to make another error, and making a read to take his second stock with the trade.
Big mistake. I mean, he's practically giving it away.
The game would transition into a battle of patience, with both players trying to push each other out of their comfort zone. And Lefin would get first blood.
Got him with the tippy toe.
The crowd was noticeably louder than in any other match of the tournament so far, but also any other game of this match. The game at this point would be a battle of who could hold it together better.
Lefin just, he's trading with
Hungrybox.
Man, the crowd makes such a difference too, because I can hear them all yelling and screaming in the background. Just imagine thousands of people. Every time you get knocked off stage, people start cheering. Like, that's not good for the ego. But every time you do something good, people start cheering too, dude. The craziest crowd I've ever been to, I went to a Manchester United game at Wembley. Wembley, is that where they were? At their home one. I can't even remember where it was, dude. I have been to lots of NBA games. I've been to lots of football games, been to lots of tennis matches, whatever. Nothing has ever compared to going to watch European football at a European stadium. At a UK. Nothing compared to that atmosphere. I've never seen a crowd like that. Everyone, 60,000 to 100,000 people were going fucking bananas the entire time. Everyone was hammered. There's people fighting over there. Everyone's chanting and screaming like fucking maniacs, like we're about to go to war. And then there's just a bunch of guys, little dots down there kicking a ball around.
Would soon fight back, and with their prides on the line, The game looked like it could go either way.
Tough for Lefin to make this comeback, given the pace and, you know, the way that the game's been playing so far. It's absolutely possible for Fox to just, you know, find an up smash and tie everything up, but yeah.
The reset.
Game 5, Hungrybox winning.
Competitors are obliged to shake hands after any match, so Hungrybox walks over to Lefin's side of the stage to
Here we
do
go.
so. However, Lefin would quickly get up and leave the stage.
He's a little
Hungrybox
baby.
Didn't take that very lightly.
Hungrybox is a mad dog. Wow. It's a mad dog. Wow. Ooh.
That's right.
Ooh.
Bro, this guy's just a fucking competitor, dude. If you give him the space to dominate, like also dominate this like social presentation game, he's gonna do it too. You gotta meet him where he is, or else he's just gonna pop off and get the crowd on his side.
Hungrybox would advance to winners finals.
I could totally see. Sorry, I'm pausing a lot. I could totally see why that pissed off a lot of viewers, though, right? Because he's not cocky, but he's just like, he shows his emotions. So when he's excited and like Lefin kind of like shies away, like, oh, I lost, I'm sad, and then he's popping off, getting cocky in front of the crowd. People, that could definitely upset people.
Would drop to losers quarterfinals, seeded to play against Mango and Armada, two players he wasn't necessarily favored against.
Okay.
Hungrybox would take a semi-surprising loss to Plup and move down into losers finals. His competitor, though, would not be the one he would expect.
Is it going to be Lefin?
Or be the one he would want to see.
Mango. No, it's got to be Lefin. The editing is good. Insane. You know, it's just some rivalries are just destined, man. There's some people in some sports that just hate each other so much, but they can't keep away from each other. Fate just always brings them together, and they always have these insane epic battles, and everyone loves it because they hate each other so much. Fox is very fast too. Holy crap. So Lefin wins. Does he lose to Armada and go to the losers bracket? Oh no, wait, Lefin already, wait, they're already in the losers bracket, right? So this is the final, we're working up to the finals for the losers bracket. Sorry, again, I wasn't super paying attention to that. So Lefin's gonna, if Lefin wins, he goes to the winners of the losers bracket. Oh my God, Fox v Fox. What's worse than losing a mirror matchup? No excuse losing a mirror matchup. Especially that dominant. Ooh. Wait, Lefin's looking good. Lefin is looking on form here. On form. Let's go. I can't get Hungrybox Lefin. Losers finals. Oh God. There we go.
Lefin would beat the number 3 and number 2 players in the world, and would be granted the chance of a rematch against the number 1 player. And he would be determined to not let this opportunity slip.
Easy said, I can already tell. Emotions are already flying. Oh yeah. I'm scared. I am terrified.
You can see how important this match is to both of them. Look at the tension in their body right now. Watch both of them while this match is playing out. Normally, Hungrybox actually has a I've noticed, I've been observing this. Hungrybox is a little more relaxed look on his face. He lets his mouth like kind of slack like this a little bit. His face goes slacked when he's relaxed and in the zone, and Lefin kind of stays always tight. But he's very tense here right now. I love body language, man.
Lefin would come into this match with calculated aggression that HBox could feel through the screen. The match would take on the air of HBox trying to hold off Lefin's aggression. And in game 1,
I don't even know who I'd be rooting for in this game. Maybe Hungrybox. Ooh. Man. Okay. Come on, Hungrybox, lock in! Oh my God, we're at 1-to-1 stock already? Holy. Oh!
He was barely able to. HBox would take a look back at his coach in an attempt to stabilize his nerves and maintain his confidence in his ability to win in the presence of a revitalized Lefin. HBox took this mentality into the following game, but it was not a calm one. The game would go down to last stop. And in a moment of volatility,
Oh my god.
Lefin would overextend with an up smash that Hungrybox would punish to barely escape with the win.
One mistake and you're off.
One game away from winning the match and escaping Lefin's will for the second time.
Normally when there's a ledge, someone's holding onto a ledge in Smash. I have to do this with my eyes closed so I can picture it. If another person is off the edge and they jump on and grab the ledge, it normally swaps the places of that person, and the other person gets popped off, and you kind of swap places, and then you can like back air them, maybe for instance, and like get them off, right? So what pros do, I think there's a period of invincibility when you get up. So I think right as the character that's coming to land back on stage for the grab onto the ledge, if you get up, that animation actually locks out the ledge and you can't grab onto it. And that's why we'll see those characters who are trying to grab the ledge just fall off, even though it looks like they may have grabbed.
Today. But as Lefin would go to show, it was never so easy.
One of my favorite things to do is to watch the players as they're at really intense moments. Sometimes I stop watching the actual competition. I'll watch the players' faces and they're like, you know, they're doing the funniest stuff. It really takes me out of it sometimes. I try not to do it. But when I know there's an intense moment coming and I can't help it, sometimes I have to watch it. It's like this compulsive thing I have to do. It just makes me laugh. Lefin's really bad at that too. Lefin makes some insane faces when he's playing.
Lefin would win games 3 and 4, the fourth being on Dreamland. Hungrybox would still choose to play the fifth game on that stage, however, and the final game would prove to be the most intense of all of them.
Are we 4-4 right now?
Lefin would try to ride his momentum from the
2 and
past 2
2
games, while Hungrybox would try to slow down the pace by using the size of the stage to build his own momentum, which he did.
Oh!
Taking the game to a 3-1 stock lead. This would now be Lefin's last stand.
Let's go, Lefin.
One stock stood between Hungrybox and him ultimately proving his will over Lefin.
Flashbacks to the tweets. It always comes back to Twitter, doesn't it? With competitive esports, bro. It's always about what one guy... I'm telling you, man, Twitter is an essential part of the esports culture. What would we do without it, man? Reddit? Nah. It's all about Twitter, bro.
Lefin would fight against this future, either out of nerves or Lefin finding a second win. The match would find its way to its pinnacle.
This is insane. Oh, pretty even in percentages. Oh my god, the crowd's going nuts. So, Lefin at 113%. He is killable. He's in kill range right now. Hungrybox is just coming in at 0%. However, Fox could... I feel like there is some low percentage kill confirms, right? I'm learning. See, I'm learning. I feel like there is some that Lefin could do. Look at this stage. This is insane, man. Oh my god, I would actually love to go to some of these. I also feel like I've missed the golden era of esports. We were talking about this with chat a little bit earlier. Before COVID, man, esports was just primed to be like the biggest thing on the fucking planet. And then COVID happened and we kind of lost a little bit of steam, didn't we? I remember back in the day, I was not dating. I wasn't with my fiance. I was with someone else. I was with my ex-girlfriend. I remember forcing her to watch, I think it may have been the 4th Worlds of League of Legends at her house, because it was World Finals, it was Worlds Day, and I was watching it all day. I remember, and it was, who was it? It was TK1 versus something. I can't remember the teams. It was Europe versus, I think it was Europe versus Korea, and I think it was the first time Korea won. I think it kind of like started the Korea dominance in League of Legends, the Korean dominance in League. I could have it totally backwards. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's what I recall. Anyway, I was sitting there with my girlfriend, right? She was not ex-girlfriend. She was not a gamer. She thought I was the weirdest person on the planet. I actually think that night of me making us sit there and watch the esports was one of the reasons we broke up. It might have been SKT1's first win. I can't remember. Back in the day, it was like especially League of Legends, was just on this trajectory, man. They were literally like selling out stadiums. I remember watching like the very first competition they did, and it was like it was like Freak, like PHREAK, like handing out an award, and they were on this like tiny little stage.
Season 1 champions, Team Fnatic.
Look at this.
Great job. Congratulations.
Little bum ass stage. People all standing on there. All these guys, look at them. They got the little sponsored things.
That was an amazing match.
You hear the claps? 80 people there max, right? 80 people there max.
Will down one choose to
look at the difference.
Ooh, okay. I actually like
production.
this adaptation a lot from Suning. They're choosing to leave the Ornn open. They're saying,
look at this.
At 45 minutes.
They're in a stadium. League was just going on this trajectory, and then I don't know what happened. I just stopped watching League around a certain time. Lol, the toxic game that had its appeal, but esports matches took more than an hour. Yeah, I mean that's fine. You got Europeans watch soccer for 3 fucking hours. People watch people kick a ball around. When there's one goal. I don't know. I think in terms of esports, I do find most esports to be way more exciting, way more condensed than a lot of actual sports, man. I love playing soccer. Couldn't pay me to watch that sport anymore, man. It drives me insane. I love playing baseball. Couldn't pay me to watch that sport anymore. Maybe it's just because I'm obviously biased because I'm a gamer as well. But I don't know, man. I find esports to be much more exciting and faster paced than a lot of sports. Besides, like, I love a good hockey game. Can't get me wrong. I love a good hockey game. I love a good rugby game. Let's fucking go. I would love to watch a video. Oh my God, this is so intense. Oh! Oh my God, he almost, this is it.
In this moment, if Lefin is able to turn around before up smashing Hungrybox,
he
will get a strong enough hitbox to get the kill and win. But he wouldn't get the turnaround.
Oh, he got the back of it. That was crazy. So if he turned around and got the front of the back kick, that would have been a KO. That would have been the game. He made one input mistake and got him with the back. And that has a worse hitbox, I guess. Oh! Oh! Oh, he's cooking him! Oh, that's the difference right there! Oh, baby, that's the difference between a champion and a loser.
Hungrybox's reaction after the game was one of
I'm kidding, okay.
And once again, Lefin would walk past him, rejecting the offer to shake his hand.
Oh.
This match would prove to be the pinnacle of the beef between these two players. And in my opinion, the intensity of beef in Smash Bros. As a whole. Smash Bros. And esports in general are no stranger to salty moments or beef between players.
That's what I used to watch. I used to watch the salty moments. I used to love that. Watching, they were in like school computer rooms. Like, where the fuck were these guys, by the way? Little community centers, like GameStops and stuff. And there's just one kid in the back going, ah!
However, these matches are unique in that they are the pinnacle of the beef while being played out on the biggest stage. The negative energy cultivated against Hungrybox would continue, despite their beef calming down in the following months.
Good for them.
The following year at Genesis, Hungrybox would be cursed out by the crowd. And later that year,
man,
a disgruntled spectator would throw a crab at him after winning the tournament.
A crab?
All of the previous...
Someone threw a crab at him? Dude, this is crazy, man. What's he doing besides playing the game, bro? He's not cheating, by the way. On this channel so far, we've covered a lot of cheaters. No one's cheating here. Why are we throwing crabs at the players? Like, what kind of weird online, chronically online idea? Whose idea was that? I'm gonna throw a crab at Hungrybox. The more I say that out loud, the funnier it gets, though. And I'm not gonna say it again because if I say that again, I'm gonna burst out laughing.
Are their own significant moments in Smash Bros. History. However,
where did he get the crab? I have a million. Where did he get the crab? Was this a premeditated assassination attempt? Did he have the crab and bring it to the tournament thinking I'm going to throw this at Hungrybox? Or did he acquire the crab at the tournament and it was like a spur of the moment decision? You know, was this a premeditated assault? I don't know. I have so many questions about the crab more than anything else. Where did the crab come from? He must have got it beforehand because it's not like maybe if they're at our conference center. Here's the thing. Here's my theory. They do a lot of these tournaments back in the day at conference centers, right? Sometimes at the conference centers, they also have like company buffets. So you can come in and your company like rents out a room for a bit and you have a buffet. One of these guys got into the wrong room, walked into the buffet, ended up with a crab. They're serving steamed crab. Ended up with the crab, watched the battle, ended up going there, crab in pocket, not sure what he's going to do with it later, right? This crab is filled with potential. Hungrybox ends up winning, does his little pop off, crab sailing through the air, hits Hungrybox. And I think that's what happened there.
This match serves as the pinnacle of the personal beef between these two players and runs the risk of being lost to time. Hungrybox would go on to place second at this tournament to Plup, but go on to continued success in the years after, being ranked number 1 for 2 more years.
Damn.
Lefin would continue to play Melee, while finding success in other esports as well. As for
Guilty
the
Gear,
rivalry,
oh really?
It hasn't necessarily been entirely smooth, However, it's never gotten
Is that Ludwig?
to the personal level it was during this time. In the grand scheme of things, these two players now serve as living legends in the community. A large portion of the top players from their eras have since retired, and these two, although at one point bitter rivals, now serve as one of each other's only reminders of the past.
Interesting.
As of 2025, their rivalry is proof of the power of a strong adversary, as throughout their careers, they've motivated each other to reach incredible heights that they may have not reached otherwise.
So true. And I think that's the best thing about having a really good competitive rival, right? If you didn't have that person who's like kind of like nipping at your heels and like pushing you to be your best self, he would have never reached the heights that he reached. And same with Lefin. I feel like, yeah, sure, they were always going to be great players, always great competitors. But if you don't have that person that's literally putting you to 110% every single time, you're not going to reach your true potential, because I think people like to default to like a lower percentage. But if there's someone that's really like coming for you, you're going to give it 100% every time. That's a very good point.
Their matches, their stories, all of those roped into it may one day be lost to time. But at the end of the day, they'll never forget what a rivalry in a fighting game made for children turned into.
Wow, nice. I don't know, who was the bigger asshole? I feel like they were both kind of assholes, but like that's just part of the game. I don't know.